How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its summer sale. We already did deals under $5. We highlighted some historic lows. Now it's time for some of you ballers out there. It is your time to shine because we've got some deals under $10. A lot of great deals to go over. Got about 15 deals. Obviously, with all of the deals that are available, this is still just scratching the surface, but thought this would be a good baseline and a good starting point. And do remember that while the entirety of the summer sale will be a 4-week long endeavor, a lot of these deals are in fact ending in just 2 weeks. I foresee this happening where a lot of people think they got the entire 4 weeks to check out these deals. Then 2 weeks from now, a lot of them cycle out and they're gonna be like, where are the games? And they're gonna be upset. But just be mindful of that. So with that being said, let's get right into it and let's kick things off with Dying Light the Following, an enhanced edition, 70% off for $8.99. Outstanding deal for Dying Light 1, which I think most people would agree is better than Dying Light 2. I am actually replaying the game right now ahead of the release of Dying Light the Beast, and I'm having a great time with the game. You know, in certain areas you could tell that it's a 10-year-old game, some design choices and whatnot, but I still think, man, this game is awesome, and how they've kept it updated has been phenomenal, and I much more prefer the open world game design of a Dying Light, where it is a smaller open world, but it's a denser open world, and the parkour from rooftop to rooftop is just really well done. Story's pretty good. You got the DLC here as well for $8.99. I think it's a great pickup, and I would strongly recommend it. Definitely a good shout there. Highly recommend Dying Light the Following Enhanced Edition. Next up, we have Yakuza Like a Dragon, 50% off for $9.99. Now, the Yakuza games, it's a daunting task to get into them. However, I do actually think Yakuza Like a Dragon is a decent starting point. The reason being is that it introduces a new main character in Ichiban, and his story is mostly its own thing, separate from the other Yakuza games. Obviously, if you play the originals, the Kiryu games, you'll get more out of Like a Dragon, but it is totally serviceable as playing through it as its own experience. You've got Ichiban and his whole crew as the cast of characters. New gameplay style as well, being a turn-based JRPG, a ton of content, and a great story. I've said it before, but I think Ichiban is the best main character that RGG has put out. That's alongside Yagami, Kiryu as well. I love Ichiban as a character, and I just think his story is so well done in Like a Dragon. When it comes time to play Infinite Wealth, that's the game that, you know, Kiryu is one of the central characters in that game. I'd recommend you to go back and play the other Yakuza games, but it's your prerogative. You do whatever the hell you want to do, and I think Yakuza Like a Dragon's a great game. $9.99, a great pickup on that. Next up, we have RoboCop Rogue City, 85% off for $8.99. A good discount on this, although it has been a little bit cheaper. Maybe they're finally, you know, upping the price point, or the expected price point of RoboCop Rogue City, and it was a PlayStation Plus Essential title. RoboCop Rogue City is awesome. For this price point, it's just a great deal. And maybe awesome is a little bit of a stretch, but man, whenever you're talking about a game less than 2 years old and it is of quality and it's less than 10 bucks, that's a great pickup. And love the setting of the game. The story was pretty good, and I'm not even a big RoboCop guy, but I could still appreciate it for what it was. Unfinished Business just came out, but you should absolutely play the original before you dive into Unfinished Business. Yeah, $8.99 for this. Great pickup there. Next up, we have Streets of Rage 4, 65% off for $8.74. Great deal on an awesome beat-em-up. And Streets of Rage is a classic franchise, and what Streets of Rage 4 does really well is while it pays tribute to, you know, nostalgia and the classic nature of Streets of Rage, it also modernizes it. The art style is great, and it's just a fun beat-em-up to go through. For $8.74, a great deal. Definitely would recommend Streets of Rage 4. Next up, we have Batman the Arkham Collection, 90% off for $5.99. You got Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Look, 99% of you already have this collection, but for the 1% of you that don't, Batman Arkham Collection is a phenomenal pickup. It is Rocksteady before they were a shell of their former self and completely washed. Arkham Asylum is fantastic. Arkham City, I think, is the best game of the trilogy, and Arkham Knight is really good as well. I know some people were a little bit down on the Batmobile sections, but overall the game is still excellent, and to get all 3 games for just $5.99, great pickup there for the Batman Arkham Collection. Next up, let's go through some Devil May Cry games. We got the Devil May Cry HD Collection for $9.89. That's Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. Great deal on that, although You know, these games are from the early to mid 2000s, so keep your expectations in line. These character-driven action games have aged some of the worst when it comes to just, you know, playing older games. And I remember I was on Twitter, I think it was, and somebody's like, I can't believe people would crap on PlayStation 2 games and be like, they're too old to play. Look, games are gonna be dated, and some people can find the charm in them being dated. Some people can go through them and still enjoy them. I get that. But, you know, Devil May Cry just shows its age. That's why I think a DMC 1 remake would be outstanding. But still, Devil May Cry 1 is excellent. Devil May Cry 3 is beloved. Devil May Cry 2 is the one that a lot of people do really hate. I don't even think it's that bad. I think it's an okay game. It's definitely not at the level of DMC 1 or 3, but still decent enough. I think for $9.89, this collection is great. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, $9.99 for this. Devil May Cry 5 is absolutely awesome. Like, you know, this game only came out 6 years ago, so you're not dealing with any of the aged element to it. It is phenomenal. A tremendous soundtrack. Devil Trigger is a goated theme, and I'm not crazy about DMC from a story standpoint. I'm mostly in these for like the action-heavy gameplay, and DMC 5, that action-heavy gameplay was over the top. It was chaotic as all hell, and it was a ton of fun. $9.99 for DMC 5, great deal. There, next up we got Skyrim Special Edition, 75% off for $9.99. There's another one of those deals that most of you guys probably have Skyrim in some form, whether it be, you know, on your PC, whether it be on the PlayStation 3, whether it be on your refrigerator, but Skyrim is still a worthwhile game to go back and play. I mean, Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time, and I put it in the pantheon of the absolute elite. You know, on the level with the Red Dead 2s, with the Witcher 3s, and you know, that's very high praise from me. Skyrim is just a phenomenal game, and it's an incredibly replayable game, just so well done. And, you know, Bethesda, you can make the argument they're a little bit washed these days. Starfield didn't turn out all too well. They put out a game every 8 billion years, so little bit unfortunate, but Skyrim will stand the test of time, and it's a game that they've sold 1 billion copies of, so they don't even gotta put out any new games. They could just keep re-releasing their old ones. But yeah, $9.99 on that is great. Risk of Rain 2 is $6.24, an excellent action roguelite. Playing it co-op is a lot of fun. Great art style here. Very challenging and can get very infuriating at times, but a lot of fun to be had with Risk of Rain 2. So definitely recommend that at $6.24. An excellent pickup there. The Mass Effect Legendary Edition is 90% off for $5.99. Another one of those trilogies, much like the Batman Arkham Saga. Mass Effect Legendary Edition showcases BioWare before they were absolutely washed and cooked. But Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 are all excellent games, and Mass Effect 1 absolutely shows its age. Mass Effect 2 is still one of the greatest video games of all time. Once again, ME2 in the pantheon of the greatest games of all time to me, alongside the Red Dead 2s, Witcher 3s, Skyrims, etc., etc. But yeah, and let's throw Final Fantasy 7 in there. Not giving enough JRPG love to the pantheon of great games, but ME2 is also in there. Mass Effect 3, unfortunately, the ending holds it back, but the game itself is still really good, and overall a great trilogy of games, and definitely would recommend that. Speaking of the pantheon of great games, Uncharted 2 of the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, also in my opinion in the pantheon of the greatest games of all time. This trilogy follows a similar formula to Mass Effect, where Uncharted 1 shows its age, but still very much a worthwhile game to go through. Uncharted 2, a phenomenal game, one of the greatest video games of all time. Uncharted 2, to me, was the first game that I remember actually really just flooring me. I remember being 12 years old, watching E3 of 2009, and they showed that demo for Uncharted 2 with the helicopter coming down, and I was just like, oh my god, this game looks absolutely insane. And at that point, I was still, to an extent, like, JRPG pilled at that point. Like, I was broadening my horizons a little bit, playing Killzone 2, Infamous 1, but Uncharted 2, I feel like, was the game I was like, oh my god. And I feel like that game really set the tempo of what PlayStation first party was perceived as, and or you know, began to being perceived as nowadays as well. The release of Uncharted 2 was just gargantuan, and it was a time where Naughty Dog would actually release games instead of releasing the same game over and over again, but you know, it is what it is. Uncharted 3 was really good as well. Uncharted 2 just had the novelty of it being so much better than Uncharted 1 that you were blown away playing through it. Uncharted 3, the expectation was sky high going into it, and it was a great game. It's just, it didn't blow me away in the sense that I was surprised by it. Uncharted 2, I was just legitimately blown away by. $9.99 for the trilogy, great deal there. Next up, we got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, 85% off for $8.99. I think this game is great. Super underrated, unfortunately. Didn't do that well commercially, but a really, really well done game. Characters are super likable, and I've said it before, but I played this game without having any attachment towards the Guardians, hadn't even seen any of the movies, and I ended up really vibing with the characters. Star-Lord, Rocket, and the rest of the cast I thought were very well done, and the story's pretty good. $8.99 for that is a great deal for sure. Metro the Saga bundle, 85% off for $8.99. You get Metro 2033, Last Light, and Exodus's Gold Edition, so you get the DLC there as well. That is great. The Metro games are fantastic, atmospheric, narrative-driven first-person shooters, just really well done, and for $8.99, this trilogy is definitely a good pickup. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Collection. Final Fantasy X is the game that is absolutely beloved by people, but X-2 is not that bad. It is no Final Fantasy X, but I don't think Final Fantasy X-2 is this you know, abysmal experience either. I think it's a decent follow-up to Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X, however, the core narrative is so strong. I like the sphere grid system as well. I thought that was pretty well done. Battle theme is absolutely goated. The soundtrack in the game is tremendous. And, again, a great cast of characters. Auron is awesome as well. And, yeah, just a great game. Definitely recommend FF10 and X-2. And then lastly, the narrative-driven Nobody Wants to Die is $9.99. A game that I think is fairly well done. More of a investigative detective game, but a really cool setting, great visuals, and for $9.99, it's a great pickup. I think $25 was a little bit pricey given the super short length, but $9.99, I think we're cooking here. But that'll do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $10. Links to all of these in the description box below. Check them out for yourself. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching. Sound off down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.